So I have just checked in to the Ritz. I'm working an event called the Cayman Cookout at these beautiful Cayman Islands. Check it out. Just got off a plane, so I'm like, they gave us drinks as soon as we walked in. Thank the Lord, because I need one. And I've already bought my rum. It is a job, so I am working an event. I'm gonna try and film something for you. I'm gonna show off as much of the island as I can. And hopefully I get some good footage for you guys and get enough for a video. So, see you guys soon. It is an event where famous and world-renowned chefs gather to cook on the beach and do demonstrations for people and cook amazing meals and just get together and have a good time in the Cayman Islands. Gosh, we have our own little espresso machine. Best day ever. Alright, so now we're talking. We basically got off the plane, dropped off our stuff in the hotel, and went right to work. Like, it was immediately work time. They were extremely long hours. It was like 15-hour days with very few breaks, like 10 minutes, scarf down your food meals. Night we went back to Andiamo. Look at the plating on this steak. Oh my god. And the potato thing with the Brussels sprouts, it was so good. So one of the first events that I got to see was Andrew Zimmern cooking in Cayman.
Beer also fermented. The things that you just wanted to show. You know, Parmesan cheese and beer is a great example of why this dish is so great.
That is actually where I learned that he wrote a middle grade book, As in the Lost City of Ophir, and if you were to buy it, all proceeds went to No Kid Hungry. I actually did get a chance to talk to him during the Barefoot Barbecue, which is later this night, about his book, which I purchased. I got to ask him what his favorite book was and just chat about wanting to be a young adult author and wanting to be a writer and everything that went into that.
New York has 162 ethnicities represented in populations of 5,000 or more. More languages are spoken in the borough of Queens than any other place its size on planet Earth. They continue to have new waves of immigration from all those ethnicities and cultures that keep the food honest, right? Queens is the most, I think, exciting, dynamic place, and that's just one of 5 boroughs in New York.
So we also got to work an event called the Jacques Scott auction, which was a silent auction for all the proceeds went to a cancer foundation for the Grand Caymans. Once everyone got in and they were inside and they were getting their food and enjoying themselves, people who were done would leave past us as well. But one of those people that came out pretty early was Emeril Lagasse. And as he was passing by, he leaned over and I swear he got like this close to my face. He got really close to me and he said, he like touched my arm and he said, "All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you later, baby." And then like I laughed and like I touched his arm and I was like, "Okay, chef, have a good night." But have a good night, baby, from Emeril. For your girl right here. that I thought was interesting about Jose Andres was he was actually a very reserved person when he's not on camera and not in front of a crowd. But when he gets up in front of a crowd, he's like crazy. He's like really into it, really loud and exciting and funny.
So, gazpacho, with permission of my wife, I added watermelon. Why? Because watermelon is so great.
I did get to see Emerald Lagasse live during the Essential BAM, is what they called his thing, which he never once said BAM while I was there. Just noting. Part of me wonders if he hates that that's become his thing.
We should take a vote maybe next year. We should have 2 cocktails. Or 3.
Now you're showing.
Actually, I should just tell them, look, you know what? I'm not doing a demonstration unless I have my own bar set up. Okay? So that I can rock everybody out on the beach.
Hey, that's just bullshit. No, you just listen to her. You guys gonna have one. We made some for you.
After that was the Barefoot Barbecue. This had to be my favorite event of the entire trip, and they had set up stations for chefs to actually cook at on the beach all next to each other. There was a whole section for mixologists to each have a station where they were making drinks.
Manja, manja.
Bob's running low. Bob, you're almost done. You're in the plastic cups now.
As I was leaving, I like had all my drinks in my hand, and I realized that there was an upstairs area above the bar, and I was like, oh crap, you know, I have to get back to the gate, but I have to see what's upstairs too. So there was a line of people going upstairs, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go upstairs real quick, see what's up there. So as I'm looking upstairs, one of the chefs comes over to me, and he's like, hey, I've seen you around, you seem like a cool person. And I was me, who's had a few drinks in her, was like, I am a cool person, thanks for noticing. And he's like, cool, do you know what's upstairs? And I was like, no, but I was about to go find out. And he's like, cool, me too, let's find out together. And we high-fived, and then he dragged me upstairs, and we bypassed the entire line of people. And when we got there, it was a whole room of cheese. He like pulled me into like the center, skipping the whole line. He's like, this is the cheese you want to try. All of the other cheeses you don't even need, it's just this cheese. So he grabbed a piece of like crusty bread, slapped the cheese on, he's like, now we need something sweet. So he put the chutney on, he's like, this is all you need, try this. We both put our things together, tried it together, he's like, perfect bite, you don't need anything else. And then we ran back downstairs. And it was like crazy. It was really cool.
Do or our medical people do, but I always sense that they were doing far beyond what their duties were.
Let's talk about like a few years ago, we had a huge fire in San Francisco, outside of San Francisco. It was so devastating, and talking about the people coming together, I just did a post on Instagram at that time. I think it was like probably 7:30 in the evening, and asked them to come to the restaurant and make food the next day with me. And I kid you not, about over 200-300 people showed up, and they were like, okay, let me know what I can do.
Later on, there was the Moet and Chandon pink dinner where all the guests were pink. after that was Rosé It Out that evening. This is the one that had the dance floor set up in the middle of the pool. I went in with my boss, Jason. So I was like, hey Jason, you want to dance with me? And like the bottom is clear, so you can see straight into the pool. And you've got this huge crowd of people stomping on this thing. And we went into the middle where Stephanie Izard is, like just throwing down. She's going crazy. The electric slide comes on, and Jason knows the electric slide, and suddenly we're all doing the electric slide together. And it was really cool. The last day was Sunday. The first thing that we really got to do was the Bon Vivant brunch. It was actually, people got tickets and they would go through and get their food at the brunch area, and then they'd go into this huge dining hall, and it was actually hosted by Al Roker. Now, once everyone was in already, we got to go through and eat whatever we wanted from the buffet brunch, from all of these amazing chefs, putting out the most beautifully plated food and the most delicious food, and it was such a lovely time. I also got to taste test caviar like a rich person. The desserts were the best part. I think my favorite dessert was the one with the lime. The pétanque event, which was where all of the chefs got together and put on these orange uniforms and played pétanque, which is like kind of like a French bocce ball.
Thibaut, you head upstairs, the referee, downstairs the bar.
The last event of Sunday was Rum and Robusto, which is an outdoor pool-wide event that featuring rum and Robusto, which are cigars. Carrie and I ended up leaving behind Cayman Cookout so that we could go to the beach and finally, after a whole week of hard work, stick our feet in the water, in that beautiful crystal blue water. We got to watch the sunset. There were a lot of clouds, so it wasn't a great sunset, but it didn't matter. We were done. We were free. Later that night, we all got to go to dinner together, and I got to try an octopus dish there, and I'm so excited I got to try marrow for the first time. It was delicious. A lot of firsts for me this trip. A lot of first eats this trip. I got to go to Grand Cayman. I got to stay at the Ritz. Emeril Lagasse touched my shoulder. It was this one. So, like, you can't ask for more. Yeah, in the end, I think it was a really good event. I got to go to Grand Cayman. And that's all I got for you today. I'm in a dog sandwich.